This is a real bear, a starving one. No, it's not a human inside a costume. That's the zoo in a city in a province that's so heavily indebted and the overall economy is so bad that the zoo hasn't been making any earning to feed the bear properly. According to internet reports, the bear has been fed with only veggies and carrots because the zoo's owner, who were private enterprise leaders, could not afford to feed the bear anything else. Due to the lack of customers, the owners aren't making enough money. I can't believe a skinny bear is the representative of China's economy today. Well, wait, that's not the only animal we're talking about today because Xi Jinping recently asked why unicorn companies in China aren't doing so well. Unicorn companies are private startups that are worth more than 1 billion US dollars. Clearly, the problem is people aren't going to zoos, or maybe they're just simply not seeing the magical unicorn over the rainbow. Whatever the case may be, it's a signal that China's economy is doing really badly. No matter what animal it is, consumption power has downgraded. And that's the key issue today. So today we're going to focus our video on a post that I found on a Chinese forum. And this person basically recollects his recent experience with living in China. We'll talk about some of the important details because it really reflects the current state many are going through in China. Now, this is from the Shenzhen City Forum. Take it how you will, but I do think this is a reality of China's economy. This man, he works in a e-commerce company, and his company has not seen new customer gains since last year. And his older customers, their single order amounts have decreased by 40%, and overall, it's a decrease of about 33%. And from August last year to May of this year, his company went through 3 rounds of layoffs. And so he was talking about how he is 36 years old. He's got families and parents, children to feed, and he's really worried about the current situation. And he apparently did some calculation himself. He says that between him and his friends, who each have about 5 million yuan in loan debt, or about 700,000 US dollars in debt, it would take them something like, if they spent 85% of their monthly expenditure on paying back those loans and the interest, it would take them 10 years if the economy is doing well. But it could take them 15 to 20 years if the situation is bad, which is the current situation. In fact, that would mean that they won't recover until 2040 or to 2045, meaning that all the 80s and 90s born children like Gen Z and millennials, in most cases, will not be able to have purchasing power for at least 10 to 15 years. And that's according to their calculation. His wife is also in the foreign export business, so they work with things like Temu, Shein, or Amazon for exporting goods. Now, if you go on to the Chinese export data and you look at the manufacturing data, it paints a very beautiful picture. Things are being shipped out of China to different ports around the world. But the problem, it seems like, facing these merchants or people that are doing this kind of business in China is that the profitability for producing these things is pretty much non-existent. So the profit margin is very, very slim. So he says that his wife was selling this product overseas. Suddenly in China, there's about 200 stores that popped up, which basically stole his design for the products, stole even his videos promoting the product and other things, and just try to basically eat each other, right? In China, it's all about people versus people, whoever can get out on top. And so basically he got screwed over by other people in China who also kind of want to get a little bit of that, tiny crumbs of the piece of pie that is export, whatever is left of it anyways. So I can show you here, if you search on China's version of Quora, which is called Zhihu, and you search topics on consumer downgrading, you will find a lot of people recounting their different experiences, whether that's with wage cuts, getting laid off, or simply, people around them are experiencing different things. And this guy, so we'll go back to the post again. He talks about basically what happens with a metropolis in China called Shenzhen. Shenzhen is a very big city. It's the hub of shipping, of manufacturing, of technology. Shenzhen is also one of the first cities to introduce those like Skynet surveillance cameras, right? So it's a massive city. It's a tier 1 city in China. Now, according to his post, his father and mother, they come to help take care of his baby, and so they live in Shenzhen, and they want to get a part-time job to basically kill time and make some extra earning on the side. And so in 2022, they started to work as cleaners in the community because they needed people to, look after the parks or the public bathrooms, etc. And then they were laid off in March of this year. So they laid off a total of 6 cleaners, including his parents. Now, they were obviously really sad that they lost the job, but soon, just, the neighbors in the community, they recommended that the mother of this guy to cook for people. So basically, in this community, a lot of these aunties, they have this side job where they go and cook lunch for different businesses. And so this was in April of this year. Before we continue, here's the sponsor segment from Puritang.
If there is one supplement you want to get incorporated into your diet, it's a good omega-3 supplement. It's the best all-around defender for your health. It reduces inflammation, cholesterol, improves eyesight, and reduces risk for heart problems, as well as helps with joint pain, among other benefits. Today, I want to introduce you to Puritang's green vegetables. Puritang gets their ingredients straight from the high mountains of South Korea, and the omega oils are extracted from purslane and perilla seeds. It's 100% vegan. Now, personally, I've been using Omega for about 9 years, close to 10 years now. I've recently switched to Puritang for about a few weeks now. Here's why. We mostly get our Omegas from fish, right? But that's not the best case for everyone, especially there's the aftertaste. It might not be suitable for vegetarians or vegan. So the most important part, right, we often forget is the actual concentration for Omegas. Puritang soft gels have a much higher content for Omega 3, 6, 7, and 9 than many of the brands out there. And some say that they notice there's less hair loss, more energy, lower cholesterol levels, and overall improved health. I think the best part for me is the lack of inflammation or the reduction of inflammation. Other brands also they use this high heat method to extract the oil, which in turn creates a lot of harmful byproducts. Puritang's green vegetable is done using a patented method of supercritical carbon dioxide low temperature extraction, so it preserves the natural properties and maintains high purities. First of its kind. So get it for yourself or as a gift to your loved ones ahead of the holiday season. Use my code DZ2023 and you can receive free shipping globally. Check out my link in the description and comment today.
And then so after the mother found this job, the lady that actually recommended her mother for this type of job got laid off a month after. And it just, businesses are just closing down, right? And then the even worse part is that this guy, the post guy, he went and visited the place that his mother works at for cooking, which is a car wash shop. Now, according to the owner of the car wash, he owns 5 car washes in the city of Shenzhen. He had to close down 3 of them. And in this particular one, he used to have 8 expert car washers, and 6 of them left. So only 2 remained with some apprentices that he basically has to run this. And the person that introduced the cooking job for the mother worked for a different place, which is a barber shop. And the owners closed down after 6 months of operating this and basically ran away. So here's the important part. This guy, he goes to the car wash and he speaks with the owner of the car wash. And the owner of the car wash tells him he has about 5 million yuan in debt. He's not going to pay any of it back because he simply can't. He's not making enough money at the car wash to pay his, not even the monthly interest back. And so he basically told all of his loan platforms that he's not going to pay anything back, right? Just come find me. And then according to the owner, several other business owners in the particular area are also facing the same problem. They have debt upwards of 6 million yuan or 830,000 US dollars. Basically, everybody took out a bunch of loans and decided that now the economy is not good. They can't pay it back. They're simply not going to pay it back. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that this is the right way to go, but it does reflect the reality that the people who are running businesses are out of options because they're not making any money. It's not because they don't want to, but because they just can't. Because people aren't coming, right? Whether that's with the zoo or with car wash or anything else, it's a reflection of the broader, basically, this is a tier 1 city. If you go to any other city like that or smaller, you're going to get something worse. And then the man, he says he went to a store nearby. He saw discount signs everywhere. And the shelf dates of products, they haven't been moved. So these are, almost expiring products. Or the fact that he says no new products are being added. And this was for milk products. And then the man also goes on to say that he has a friend, a couple who bought a new home 2 years ago. Even their down payment wasn't savings, it was a loan. And they can't pay it back. All of the decorations and renovations are also basically a loan that they borrowed online. So all of that, they can't pay it back. And they basically told all of these loan platforms to just come find us, right? Just, trying to seize our assets, whatever. But turns out after 6 months, they were actually graced with this exemption or something like that. So they didn't end up having to pay it back, just only having to, for the interest part, obviously. But for the principal, they still have to keep paying back. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, recently Xi Jinping held a meeting with different private enterprise leaders, and the goal in the meeting was to, of course, boost confidence in the private industry, right? But the problem is, during the meeting, Xi Jinping asked a very unique but strange question. He asked, why aren't the unicorn companies in China doing better? Now, obviously, the state media reporting this didn't mention if anybody dared to answer that question, but many people online were basically complaining that, this is because of policies. It has nothing to do with them not wanting to do well. Now, these unicorn companies are supposed to be the cream of the crop, right? Like best of the best, high market valuation upwards to $1 billion US before they're considered a unicorn company. And so this topic became a huge thing in China because people started to, like all the media started to write posts and articles about why unicorn companies aren't doing so hot. Now, this is the reason that's been given, right? It says that the sentiment fluctuations in capital market swings back and forth and like a pendulum, rarely staying at the center of the swing trajectory. Almost all of them move from one extreme to another. So basically they're saying that don't blame anyone for the lack of unicorn companies or that unicorn companies aren't doing well. They're simply in the cycle of going from one extreme to the other. And so just wait for the next time things are better. Now, obviously, this is very confusing for the business leaders because Xi Jinping just asked a question that he's supposed to know the answer of. Why? Because of policies, right? But it seems like he genuinely doesn't know that there's a reason why private enterprises aren't doing so hot. Obviously, Xi Jinping has always distrusted the capitalistic ideas, and he thinks that the state should control everything, right? And that, all these enterprises need to adhere to the Communist Party's goals and agenda. Now, Chinese entrepreneurs have long followed the state and basically the party's orders anyways, because if they don't, they will never try to make it out. But the question here now is that there's even more restrictions for them than ever before. And the CCP, they've once relaxed their policies towards private companies in hoping that, of course, those things can grow bigger and bring in more money. But today, because national security is the focus, it really doesn't, there's no way for private enterprises to function simply because private enterprises is a concept of capitalism. And today, China doesn't want to do capitalism. And so to conclude, the man's post also talked about how his brother-in-law, who drives for Uber type of rideshare called Didi, saw basically his income cut in half, and less people were taking the rides. And he also says that the brother-in-law also borrowed money and he can't pay it back. So just a massive amount of loans being dished out. People are borrowing money, but they can't pay it back. And he also says things like utilities are increasing, property management fees are increasing. And so everything's getting more expensive, but the consumer side of things is just getting so bad. So according to him, it could take 10 to 15 years, but I think the worst is yet to come. I think we haven't hit the really bad part yet, because right now people are still okay, like they're still getting by with some of the odd methods. But yeah, I think the worst is yet to come. Anyways, that's today for the episode to kind of understand and visualize what the situation of the Chinese economy really is like and how consumer spending has downgraded so much, but it's not the end yet. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like, comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, bye-bye.